What's happening, everyone, and welcome to Grosvenor Sport. Transfer deadline day has just passed us, and what a transfer window it was. There is only one man to talk to immediately off the back of what we witnessed. Paul Machin, sir, from Redmen TV. Is it Liverpool's greatest window ever?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how could it not be? They effectively broke the British transfer record twice. That never, ever happens. We've had years of penny pinching, and somehow, like, John Henry, the owners, left his wallet on like the quayside next to his yacht, and someone's grabbed it and just opened it up, and all the moths have come out with all the dough, and he's Richard Hughes, big move Hughes, we're calling him, our director of football. Yeah. No one calls him that.
It's a good name.
Spending the cash big time. Some players there. Like.
Is there any, and I don't think there is, Paul, but from your perspective, is there any reason for concern, like not getting Mark Gahey over the line last minute? Has that put a dampener on it at all?
Look, it put a dampener on it only because of, I think, the timing of it. I mean, we signed Alexander Isak that day, and if we'd just done that and gone, well, he's not possible, but it was to have it like dangled in front of you. So you start to have like perfect window chat, and that would have been it. That would have been like the complete painting, you know what I mean? Like he sits back like Bob Ross at the end and goes, there you go, it's a Babylon Brook, and everyone goes, wow, that was amazing. That's what you've been trying to do this whole time. Yeah, it is great. But to have that, to go through that day and have to experience the little bit of disappointment was annoying, but ultimately, if you're getting sad about not buying centre halves when you've just bought...
Yeah, it's only a good day, and any day where you buy Alexander Isak can only be looked through the lens of a good day.
Yeah, it's the way they've done it, right? Because, like you said, you've effectively broken the British transfer record twice in one window, but then you've also done like really astute business, like Frimpong for like £35 million. Was it £35 million? Yeah. Is like, you're going, that's a bit of a snip. Kirkhead, he's Premier League proven for £40 million. You're going, that's good. And everyone's forgot about Mamadashvili. Like, because he's probably not going to play and Alisson's still there, but the succession plan is there. So you've got this range of like, okay, we're going to go super aggressive, super big because we're the mammoth of the Premier League. We're the champions and we want to stay champions. So Verts, 100 million, no worries. We'll commit to 150 in add-ons, whatever. Isak, just keep agitating. We'll get there. We'll break the transfer record. It just shows such intent from a position of power.
It's the first time Liverpool have acted like the team that they are. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the way they're meant to be perceived, they've acted like big boys in the market for the first time that I can remember.
I completely agree. Lee, from your perspective, obviously you're the challenger, the most likely challenger for the league title. You've been, second 3 years in a row. From what you've seen this window, have you seen enough to believe that you have got enough to close the gap and actually go one better and win the league?
From the transfer window, definitely. I think we've improved all areas, got the striker that we wanted. Eze coming in gives us that bit of creativity that we've lacked a little bit because I think we relied a little bit too much on Odegaard. Defence looks very, very sound. Listen, you don't go up to Anfield and lose your best defender after a minute, 2 minutes and not missing. We didn't because with what we brought in. So I think that squad-wise, we're in a much, much better position. Much, much better. And I think at the end of the day, the best 11s and everything like that took us to the title or challenging for the title 2 years ago, and we just missed out on it. And I do believe that it's a squad that might be the reason that we win or challenge for the title.
The jewel in the crown of your window was the Eze moment, wasn't it? Getting one over on Tottenham, securing the services of, in my opinion, one of the best players in the Premier League. Certainly one of the most beautiful to watch in the Premier League.
Yeah, listen, Eze, the way it happened and the way it panned out is obviously good from our point of view, to rub it in against them. But at the end of the day, we got what we wanted. What was more annoying about it was that I'm thinking, well, we really need somebody like that, and we're not going for him. So the way they done it in the end, well done Arsenal. They, put it on.
Why do you think that was though? Because it looked like Havertz got injured, and then you went and activated for Eze, or was it just the whole plan the whole time?
I just think it was just a plan to wind Spurs up, and that's what you have to do. It's part of our remit. Thank you very much.
No, it is a good window from your perspective.
So, 9 out of 10 for me this window. You can't,
What would have made it 10 out of 10? Do you reckon? What would have made it 10?
So dare I say, he's acting instead of because I think I think at the end of the day, he's top notch. You know what I mean? We don't really know what we're getting with Gyökeres, if I'll be honest. But at the end of the day, we've got. I think in all areas. Listen, we needed a striker. We played last season with a midfield player, Marino, playing up front. He's got to be better than that, surely. So I do think that we're. Listen, I think everybody can turn around and say you know, even Liverpool the season, they'd probably say it's a 9 out of 10 because they didn't get Gay, like, you know. So listen, we've got what we wanted. Beginning of the transfer window, what did I want? I wanted a centre forward. Forget about everything else. I wanted a centre forward. You said to me, Arsenal going to bring in 8 players. You know what I mean? Like,
especially when
Liverpool have had a win. I can't believe Arsenal brought in 8. We didn't do that in 10 years.
How many of them players then are like needle movers then for Arsenal? Because Mascara and Hincapié, like, okay, they're just consuming, you know, someone like Norgard, Kepa, like those are guys that are probably not going to be as influential in helping you win the league. But is it more looking at Gyökeres, Eze, and even Madueke? Is that a needle mover? 50-odd million.
I think that, you know, we've got them players like Saliba, Saka. They're the ones.
They will still remain.
So they're the ones. You know what I mean? But I think with Gyökeres, it does put us into a little bit. But the needle mover is not the players. It's the manager. The manager has got to now. He's got the tools. He's got to use them. He didn't use them at Anfield, and that's why we've come short. That is the reason we got. If we're going to win this league or not, obviously, like with Liverpool, they're favourites now with what they've done. But if you're going to do it, we have got to be a little bit more expensive going forward. Like with all of that options that we've got now. Defensively, we are the best. I don't care what anybody says. And I don't think you've got to go to places like Anfield, places like Chelsea, places like Man United, when you've got a very, very good defence, and then back it up by putting 3 players in midfield back in. You know,
let them do what they're best at.
Believe in your defence, let them play, and let the Gyökereses and Eze's.
So that's Arsenal and Liverpool both really happy with their window. You've got to be gutted with yours.
Absolutely not. Why would you? And this is what I mean. Don't tell me what I should be feeling.
He's absolutely okay.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I think it's a really bad window for me.
No, it's not a really bad window. Of course, how could it be a really bad window?
Because you haven't solved the problems that exist in your squad.
You can't solve everything.
You haven't bought for the formation that your manager is dead set on playing every week.
No, I think we have. And I'll explain why. It's not a 10 or a 9 or an 8. But it's not a 2 or a 3. I'm in the middle. It's probably about a 6 for me. Man United scored 44 Premier League goals last year. Like, disgusting return for a club the size, like you say, the mammoth of Manchester United, the allure of Manchester United, antithesis of Manchester United. Yeah, awful. 44 goals. I'm just using words that you like to say. I don't even know if they fit. I just know you say antithesis all the time. 44 goals. The only team.
Can I just point out for you how they are not? Players are not the best that you're meant to use. Carry on.
This is what he just said. I got like a Rory crib sheet of like the things that he says. And Man United having a poor window was on my list already. You're looking at Everton as the only team that actually stayed in the division that scored less than Man United. So a shocking return. So they've got rid of players who didn't fit the system or didn't want to be there or were surplus or just not good enough, and got players in Mbeumo and Cunha who, last time I checked, in the Premier League are really good players. Like, they've proved it. Couple of seasons Cunha's been here, he's been exceptional in a really, really poor team. And Brian Mbeumo is just coming off the back of scoring 20. Well, there you go, exactly. So here's the thing.
Home from home.
People will scoff at that just because it's Man United, that you just want them to be bad signings, or assume that they definitely will be, with rightly so. We don't have a good record of improving players, is where players go to die. It's awful, right? So I get that. But in terms of Premier League proven, that is brilliant. And in terms of Benjamin Sesko, what we've got is one of the bright young stars of Europe, and hopefully we harvest the environment to help him improve. But he's somebody that, listen, is there to get better within the next 2 to 3 years.
It was fascinating though with Sesko that to fix the problem of having centre forwards that don't score loads of goals, you've gone out and spent loads of money on another centre forward that doesn't score.
Yeah. But I think they believe his best returns like 15, 16 goals. They believe that, again, with the right nurturing, he can become that. When Alexander Isak came from Real Sociedad to Newcastle United, his best season was like 15, 16 goals. If you believe that that's the guy and you can make him the guy, then that fits in with the plan. At the time, I was saying, look, go and get me Ollie Watkins. I want someone tried and tested. Go and get that. But we're being told that they're planning to win the league by 2028, however laughable that is. That's the plan. So we're not buying players for now. We're buying players for the future. So that fits into that. And then we've got 2 Premier League proven players in Bruno.
You won't even win the Fair Play League by 2028.
Mate, well, stranger things have happened.
I will say this about Man United. Only Man United could have got the players that they've got. Without European football, 15th in the league. To go and get the players that they've got, That is some clout. I have to say that.
Is it? Yeah, okay.
It is, but everyone was telling us you can't get anyone. You got no Europe. You're not going to get anyone.
Who did you beat to the signings?
Yeah, exactly. Who was you in a transfer struggle with? Newcastle.
Beat Newcastle.
You're always
to
going to beat
Sesko.
Newcastle. Yeah.
Everyone beat Newcastle. Nobody wanted to play for Newcastle.
Nobody lost. Nobody lost.
Yeah, obviously Spurs as well were going to beat them.
Spurs wanted in Burmo.
Yeah. But obviously.
Cunha.
Probably
his own family.
Also, what's happened is what you're not remembering is that the players just like his was a release clause. He said, don't listen to any other offers. Don't even entertain. I want to go to Manchester
also, no
United.
Champions League football. Like they're not going to Man United because of Champions League football. Like they're going to Man United because they want to play for Man United.
And the wages ain't like.
They go to Man United because they want to earn 250 grand a week for the next 5 years.
But that hasn't happened, Paul. That hasn't happened. When we've signed, these players aren't on that money, and that's what I'm saying. Sesko is not on that money, and Boomer's not on that money, and neither's Cunha. They're not. Obviously, from Wolves, you're going to get double or triple what you had. That's always going to be a thing because you're going to a big football club. But in terms of getting a stupid 5-year contract for 250 plus, we're not actually doing that. The goalkeeping situation
is left.
Is shocking.
Taken up by Casemiro.
Exactly, it's shocking. But then you say that what we have done well and why it's a decent window is you've shifted Marcus Rashford's wages off the books again. You've got rid of Anthony's wages off the books, which is shocking. And listen, Garnacho's wages are not massive, but he doesn't fit the system. We all talk about PSR. We've sold him for 40 million with 10% in a possible sale.
Did Jadon Sancho go anywhere in the end?
He went to Aston Villa on loan.
Okay. So
because he's not going to want to take it. The sins of the past have already been done, right? If Ineos had got a deal with players that are on crap contracts before they got there, of course, if I'm Jadon Sancho, I'll do the same thing. This is my last year of getting 230 grand a week before I'm a free agent. I'm not going anywhere.
See, the reason I said that I didn't think you'd be over the moon with your window is because I think that it echoes ours a bit, and I'm not particularly happy with ours. Only because I feel like if we had targeted exactly where to strengthen our team, I think that we could have been in the pursuit of the league.
As in what?
If we had targeted, I think if you look at our centre halves,
if
you look at the centre halves at the club, particularly off the back of Colwill getting injured, and Colwill, terrible news that he got injured, but he got injured at a good time, in the way that Havertz got injured at a good time.
In the transfer window.
And you think, okay, great, it's happened. Disaster that's happened, but it's happened now, so maybe we have a bit of room for manoeuvre. He got injured. The centre halves weren't good enough anyway. Fofana's perennially injured. The goalkeeping situation at Chelsea is comical. And then we went and signed Garnacho.
The goalkeeper stuff for both of you is mad.
Mental.
It's like you've forgotten that Massimo Taibbi or Dimitri Karian existed. You know what I mean? All of them. You know what I mean? Like Mark Bosnich. Mark Bosnich played for both of you.
All of who are better than Onana.
Yeah.
No,
every single one of them better than
Onana. It's absolutely ridiculous because I honestly believe if we had gone out and put our model with only signing young players to the side and signed an established, brilliant 29-year-old centre half.
You could have just gone and
Kanji. And then gone and signed, somebody like that. Absolutely, somebody like that. And then maybe a goalkeeper,
Why haven't they addressed that, Rory? Why haven't they not addressed that, Chelsea?
Because I don't think that they're not looking. The people who run Chelsea aren't looking at a way of trying to create a team that's going to win the league. So, for example, when it became clear that, say, Andy Robertson, I still rate Andy Robertson really highly, but when it became clear that he needed help, we'll say, they look in the league and they go, right, our squad needs an elevation. At left back, this geezer's been brilliant for 2 years. At left back, let's sign him, and they improve their squad. We need centre halves, but we can make a lot of money on Garnacho, so we're going to sign him anyway. If we really wanted to win the league, when Noni Madueke went to Arsenal, if we really wanted to win the league, Madueke goes to Arsenal, Chelsea sign Eze. That's how you win the league. Noni Madueke goes to Arsenal, we sign Gittins.
Yeah.
It's what
Chelsea buy players like I do the shopping. And if I go and do the weekly shop, you just go, that looks great. The sweets aisle gets raided.
I love a bit of that.
And it's a bargain. Two for one. Yeah. It's like you've got to buy it.
It is ridiculous.
With no real strategy. So that's why I'm a little bit disheartened with us. That's not to say that we haven't signed some very good players. I think João Pedro.
Good player.
João Pedro is brilliant. And it could have all been so different if Newcastle had pulled their finger out and got him. The knock-on effect would have meant that Isak probably went to Liverpool 6 weeks ago. It would have all been fine up on Tyneside, because I think he's class. He's a Brazil international, and in the model of the Chelsea hierarchy, which is young players who you can improve and ultimately make more money on. Their model and my model, which is brilliant footballer for today to win silverware and a Brazil international, was great. He's a great example of a player that does both. He makes them happy because his value will go up and he's young. But he makes me happy because he scores goals all the time. So I think we've signed some very good players. But it's just a shame because if we bought a keeper and a really good centre half. I think you're looking at the Chelsea squad off the back of what happened in New York City, and you go, maybe.
Look at City. City, I think, in Edison, and I know he's tailed off, and people are telling me that he's not quite the keeper he was, but I think he was the second best goalie in
Still
the
top,
league. And they went, he's fading a bit, and what did they do? They just go out and buy two goals, because they know that you can't
get anywhere without a keeper.
Exactly.
You can't cut corners in that.
Yeah, it's one of those positions
and
where
we've both seen what happens when you do.
Every single title winner, if you look back over the history of the Premier League, every single title winner has had probably the best or second best goalkeeper in the league.
You can name the goalkeeper.
And you need a top spine. You need a top spine. You need someone who's going to be a guaranteed goal scorer. Yeah. You need like a proper central midfielder who's reliable. You need a top draw centre half. But
in terms of that strategy, then has anyone else caught your eye over the window? Like, I think Tottenham had a good window.
I think Tottenham have had a really good window.
I think Tottenham did very. In fact, I'd go back to when Tottenham won that trophy, which was a disaster. But when Tottenham won that trophy in Bilbao, since that day, they've basically got everything right. Yeah. Sacking Postecoglou was right. Appointing Frank was a great appointment. The signings, they did their best to get Gibbs White, and it didn't go their way, but it was a good idea. Eze the same
thing.
But then Palhinha was a brilliant signing. Yeah. I think that was a really good signing. Keeping hold of Romero. Sometimes it's important to look at the transfer window, and I think it was great that Liverpool kept hold of Robertson for another year. You know, when at one point he was looking like he was going to leave. Keeping players part of the window, isn't it?
Look at him. Kudus. He's been a revelation. And then again, just to the manager though. Like I know they've had that bad loss against Bournemouth, so that's a little bit of an awakener.
That's a good loss.
It's a good loss, but a wake up call because everything's rosy and this, that, and the other. So you get a little slap in the face.
Because Iraola's the governor, though.
100% top manager. But actually, in Thomas Frank, what you've seen already with him being there, from when they played against PSG to when they played against Burnley to when they played against City, three contrasting different styles. He did the same at Brentford. He's played different systems. He's got different players in different systems. That's the demand that he gets from his players. And actually, when you look at the players that Spurs already have, young players like Spence, like Bergvall, like Archie Gray, these types of players, along with the experience, it's a perfect environment. And they signed Kolo Muani on deadline day as well.
I thought Thomas Frank was a really underwhelming appointment at the time.
Did you?
I really did.
Really?
But
why?
Actually, because I just think I thought he was good, but I thought he had a ceiling. And actually, but we don't know whether he hasn't got that ceiling or not. But actually, after the madness of Postecoglou, having someone come in who just clearly just goes, everyone just, well, let's try this defending malarkey.
Let's see what this is all about.
Let's try this thing. It's called structure, and see if that can actually improve them. So the whole thing that Spurs done looks really.
They've elevated. They could definitely challenge for the Champions League spots and European spots. Anybody else caught your eye this window? And if you were to award it, you can't say your own club.
No, I'm going to say it now, and I think they do well. Newcastle. I think at the end of it, for what's gone on, no,
they've had an absolute mare.
But when you look at what's left,
they've got Ramsey, who's a top midfield player. They've brought in they've got like a couple of forwards now, Wizard and all that.
Alanga will do well for them.
On the back of what they've already got, they've got a powerful midfield.
I think they lost the window.
And I think in Eddie Howe, at the end of the day, he has come out well in this.
It's funny you say that, Lee, because if we were to play the reverse game, who lost the window? I would have said Newcastle. They ended up getting, on their books, they've called it 130 million quid on deadline day. They could have got that 6 weeks ago.
From that point
Liverpool
of view,
would have paid that 8 weeks ago.
I think they weren't going to.
They didn't have the replacements.
They weren't going to.
That's why.
They weren't going to just roll over with. I was out in Singapore in the same hotel with them. They were never going to roll over with these.
They did roll over. They rolled over at the worst possible moment. They rolled over at the last minute.
They've got what they've got. I don't really know about the forwards that they've got. Like, Wizard's a decent player. I think Ramsey, I'll tell you, he's a very, very good midfield player.
João Pedro, Liam Delap, Brian Mbeumo, Hugo Ekitike, Benjamin Sesko, James Trafford, Mark Gahey.
They've got Aaron Ramsdale. What are you on about? He's all right.
I just thought for the statement of it for Newcastle, they said, we will not sell this player unless our conditions are met. Then their conditions are not met, and they still sell.
No, but the conditions were met because
they said 150 million.
Yeah, they're posturing. I think it looks worse because of how publicly they got turned down, like player after player after player, which gives that complexion that nobody wants to join you. But it also doesn't help you to see the players that have and the squad that they've kept together. And you see how they've competed without just having Isak. With all of they've lost the window. Well, I saw them against Villa. I know Villa have been bad, but
No, I think
they're
they're a
missing
good
that.
team.
I saw. You see them in the next game against Liverpool with 10 men
I
fighting with
think
everything. They're still a very good
I think
team.
they'll have a decent season.
Yeah.
I think Eddie Howe is a brilliant manager.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to have a bad time with it.
I don't think
But
anyone.
I don't think they did well in winning.
I think for the team that won a trophy and then gets Champions League football, I don't.
It didn't look the way it
it's
should
in
have looked.
perception.
It didn't
Yeah,
kick on.
I don't think this is the big heroic win from the window. Can I just throw a little name into the hat in Everton?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of gone under the radar. Look, I've been on plenty of shows and said I think Grealish has been underwhelming for years and years
Yeah,
now.
agreed.
Look,
I love Grealish.
man.
I love
Grealish.
I'm
Me?
a big Grealish
I love
fan.
Grealish.
I love Grealish.
I love Grealish.
Oh mate, I'm on to him all the time,
Mate, David, do you hear David Moyes? David
getting
Moyes,
away
I
with
knew
it,
he was
100
good,
mil.
but I didn't
Yeah.
know he was that good.
Yeah,
I love
yeah. But he's at the
Jack
perfect place, man.
But what they've done, they've got the new stadium, they've got David Moyes, who's fine. You know, he's a
Good for
solid
them as
Premier
well,
League.
yeah.
Exactly.
Knows
You
what
know,
he's doing.
and they've gone and bought good footballers, who will inject a little bit of something to them. Devlin, Dewsbury Hall, really good player, and Grealish, and sounds. You know, I think they really could have done with one. I don't know. I think they're like a good goal scorer away from being really.
What do you think they are, though, Paul? They're top half, aren't they? Are they better than that?
I think they could be in that mix of the low-end European places to somewhere between sort of like 7th and 12th.
Right.
You know, where Palace and Brentford and all those kind of teams float around. Yeah.
I
Do you
think
know-
Everton have done well.
Do you know who's had a worse window than Newcastle United?
West Ham.
Yes, actually, but I wasn't going to say them.
West Ham.
Aston Villa, mate.
Villa, yeah.
If you're talking about you're on the up and everything looks like it's going well, you're competing in Europe, and then you want to kick
shout.
on,
Good
all we're
shout.
hearing about is PSR and they're down in the dumps and this, that, and the other. Let's have it right. They smashed it in January and we went, they're going big here. They're just loan players, mate. Essential and Rashford came through.
But they did it
and
all thinking they were going to qualify for the Champions League, and then that thing happened with Bay and Deer at Old Trafford.
I get that. But look what's happened since then. Rashford's used you as a stepping stone to just get to Barcelona. He's gone, right, see you later. I'm also injured for the last couple of weeks, so you lot go and sort that out. Asensio's gone to Fenerbahce, I think it was, in the end, or somewhere like that. Didn't want to stay. You've got Emi Martinez, who's their number one goalkeeper, begging to go to Manchester United on the last day, which actually I'm not even going to laugh at because we should have got him. But anyway, from a Villa perspective, he's alienated himself from that. They've got Victor Lindelof as a signing. Jadon Sancho, who's awful.
That's a disaster.
It's a disaster.
Jadon Sancho is the worst possible
and to be fair to them, Harvey Elliott is a really good player.
Yeah,
I like
good
that
signing,
signing.
good
That's the only salvo and Evan Gassan.
But
Mate,
they've got
that's an awful window.
But they've got Ollie Watkins still, which is good. But at the same time, they put his nose out of joint by basically
benching him
not
up.
playing
Exactly.
so much at the back end of the season.
Mate.
So he's been told you need more really good players around you.
And you sold
more than
Jacob
you.
Ramsey, and you got Tyrone Mings and McGinn talking so publicly about what a travesty it is. They didn't want to lose Jacob Ramsey. Awful window, mate.
That's a good point. Okay, right, let's cards on the table before we wrap. I'll start and then give you a second to think about it. The signing of the window and the signing that you believe will flop this window. Okay, ready? I'm going to kick it off. The signing of this summer is undoubtedly Alexander Isak, and the flop signing is undoubtedly Jadon Sancho and Victor Gyökeres. Paul Machin.
Oh, I'll take the Isak shout. Hopefully he is what we all hope he's going to be. I think Liverpool, I mean, Ekatiké's been great so far, to be fair, like surprisingly great. But like we haven't had like that proper number 9 since Torres. And if we can do that again, that'd be lovely. Sesko or Gyökeres, I think the both.
Is it because of the hype that goes with it of like the 2 feet and then they're both...
They
you just
want
think
it
it's
to
not
go
gonna-
wrong.
they do.
They
No,
want
oh God, yeah, love God,
Obviously.
No secret. Yeah, of course they do.
I really want it to go
Chelsea
dead
side.
well for them. I hope Gyökeres scores 40.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go right back at it right here. Eze is going to be the one,
Signing the season.
and Isak's going to be the. It's going to all go wrong.
I like that. I'm going to go with Florian Wirtz as the flop of the season.
Oh, I like that.
I'm gonna go with that. And you know what?
You want it to go wrong.
I do. But the reason why, it's not actually because I think he's like a rubbish player. I actually think he's a fantastic player. But that level of price tag is going to come with so much. He has to have...
Got took off against 10 men Newcastle.
100%. And he's seen what this league is about immediately with the physicality. It's going to take him a while. So he's never going to be able to live up to 150 million pounds. So I'm just going to say he's just going to be deep.
Yeah, I like that one.
And who's the winner?
And you know what? I'm going to say Mohamed Kudus.
It's a good signing.
I'm going to say Mohamed. I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to go Rogue.
That is a good signing. Thank you very much to everyone for watching
Spurs.
this video, and thank you so much to Grosvenor Sport for housing it. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please click subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We're all going to be in the comments the second this video goes live, so let us know what you think. See you in a little while. Ta-da!